What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Wednesday, February 23rd, 2022. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. I appreciate you all so much. Hope you're doing well. Whew. All right. Well, we made it through the moon in Scorpio. That moon is going to come into Sagittarius today, and well, it's going to make that third quarter square to the sun in Pisces, so we get that. Seems like we can't kind of catch like a really nice break from conflicting emotions or just being overly sensitive because of Pisces season. Definitely feeling a lot. Feelings come through a lot in Pisces season. So we're dealing with all that. Hope you're doing well. It is that Wednesday too, and it is Mercury Day, and well, today Mercury comes out of shadow. So maybe we do start to figure some things out today. Not only that, but the sun's at 5 degrees of Pisces. So with Mercury coming out of shadow, sun there, and even the moon squaring that, but also sextiling Mercury, the mind is definitely going to be active today. I think we're going to have a lot to contemplate. Maybe it's a lot of our own mental figuring out of things that we are surrendering to, or trying to stay in some sort of flow mentally while we're also trying to really see where the story's going in our life. And I think that we want the magical story to happen, but it's almost like, is it coming? Is it possible? Is it in the cards? Mars is sextile Neptune exact today, and Venus is right behind getting ready to sextile that Neptune too at 22 degrees, and even Mars at 22 degrees of Capricorn is intense. So we're all dealing with this point in the chart that's like really where our destiny lies. So we have to identify with it, but it's really hard because we can't see it fully. And I would say that we're at this point where we're thinking about a lot of things and thinking about where we can change or where things can go or what the horizon looks like. And that's good. It's good to imagine. It's good to dream on a day like this, I think. But that first impulse that comes is likely not the right one. This is kind of one of those times where, yes, there's a lot going forward. Yes, we're trying to make things happen in our lives and achieve certain things or, create certain things with the North Node in Taurus, which is on Algol. So, it's just coming off that conjunction with Algol. It's really where we got to use our power for good. And I think if we're too impulsive to just go get it on this particular sort of this time that we're living right now, we're probably going into something or not seeing the full picture yet. So there's something about today of just like really flowing. Let's not get overly hyped up. Let's not just take everything as it looks. Really try to figure it out. I think mentally we can be pretty strong today, but that moon square the sun is definitely putting us at a really big checkpoint in this Pisces season. In this, it's actually the Aquarius lunation off the Aquarius new moon, and as we're really starting to wane out of that and come into a Pisces lunation next week. But I think this is where the magical story can start to reveal itself, but I think we have to be patient. I think we have to kind of let divine time show up and not just overreact or overact for something. I think that our creativity right now could be on another level. So it's almost like, well, how can you channel all of this energy or all this, fire? Because we are getting the moon in a fire sign, which we ain't got no fire in the chart except for Chiron. So where can we take that? What can we do with this fire that isn't putting us into a place of going backwards or just leaping for leap's sake? There's definitely detail-oriented stuff that will be hard to kind of pinpoint today. And that moon will also finish off the day, really close to a square to Jupiter. Kind of a mess up here, but Jupiter at 12 degrees. It's really going to do that tomorrow morning, early in the morning, square that Jupiter. But there's a lot that we want to open up to right now. And I think we have to have faith on a whole nother level that the door that we're looking for is going to start presenting itself. But I think if we're forcing a door to open, especially if that door is not open, it's just be careful. You know what I'm saying? But we are ready to figure things out, and I think that today is a very stimulated day. I think that, there's certain things that are probably going to feel really good, especially within like the little things you can do to move your body or move energy around. You'll probably feel really good if you can do that with a moon in Sagittarius. It would be a good day to like read, I'll be honest, like or study. Like things like that are actually going to bring this day maybe into a point where you get the information and the knowledge or the different philosophy on the outlook of life. Because it's looking weird out there in the world. Like, I don't know if you guys saw, but, it looks like World War III, or as I'm like really considering it to be like the Great War is right around the corner. With all these planets, Neptune, Pluto, Uranus, all coming back to where the three really big wars were taking place in the past. Of course, Pluto in Aquarius was the Revolutionary War. Neptune in Aries was the Civil War, and Uranus in Gemini was World War II. So it blows my mind every time I think about it that they're all coming back to ingress into those signs where these huge wars were all at the same time in 2024 and 2023. So it's very interesting times. It makes you wonder, and they're going to be in really good alignment for that. They're going to be in like a sextile triangle, like exact. So definitely some kind of portals out there for us. I think it could be a really powerful spiritual identifying one with some of the pressure with the two sextiles being on Neptune. It is like spiritual warrior essence, but maybe not, the way we look at warrior mainstream, if you will, like much. I don't know. These are things I contemplate too, but kind of crazy to see where things are going. But overall today, I do think, with the moon ingressing into Sag, I think that there is something that we are rising up from. Like there all of a sudden, we can feel like we were in kind of a pit or dealing with some blocks, moon square Saturn. It was, definitely heavy energy, feeling like we have to go for a lot of things. But now it's like, okay, let's take a break maybe and see what we're grateful for too with Sagittarius. It always reminds me of like Thanksgiving falls in Sag. So it's like sometimes we just got to look at the abundance that we do have in our life and be grateful for that and the connection that we have to something bigger and the connection that we have to people in our lives. And I think that Mercury could find a lot of stimulation today, and the Sun at 5 in Pisces of like communicating, different philosophy about what you think is going to happen in this universe, in this realm, and going back and forth and, not being too gung-ho about beliefs, because that's where I think we can like kind of also alienate ourselves, as if we're not willing to be open. This is a mutable square between the sun and the moon too today. So with a Mercury day, I think we definitely just want to see where things can go, be grateful for what's around us and what we do have. And I think look at the bigger picture, look at the bright side, bring in optimism and surrender to what isn't of an optimistic outlook in life, and see where that can take us. So, it's an interesting time to be here. And even Venus with the sextile to Neptune, this is the third pass of that, as we have seen that twice since Venus is still in shadow and did go through that retrograde, that there are things that we can dream into existence right now in physical form, whether it is relationship stuff, whether it is money, whether it is, physical. I think we have to be really open to the possibilities, but not just jump for anything. Like, what's really showing up and how does it feel? Like, we got to check our gut when it comes to everything. Does this feel like it's positive? Does this feel like it's negative? If we're getting a lot of negative feelings from something, what are we still putting a lot of our, feel good energy into that for? Or what are we putting a lot of our, whether it's nurturing or, just trying to get the substance from it? If there's nothing that's showing back up, if there's no balance there, does it have a future? Does it have something tangible? So could be some questions that we're looking at today. But I do think overall, Wednesday could be feeling better. If you've been down or if you haven't been, I think this could just definitely be where, some really cool gears are turning in the mind. It could be extremely creative, artistic. Probably more of a day where you're going to want to lay back if you can and like see what's going on before getting too, we can get pretty hyped up with a moon in Sagittarius. So we'll see. I mean, we have to take everything, at face value with Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces because it's amplifying illusion. It's amplifying many, many things, almost everything in Pisces. Pisces is the culmination of all signs, and it's also past that. So I think there is something too about feeling maybe a little lost in space, which could be pretty groovy depending on who you are. But, can we just kind of let space take us where we need to go without getting too critical over what maybe the perfect scenario in life look like? There's something about life these days where, gosh, the more we want perfect or something to just show up exactly as we idealized it, which would be very Venus and Mars, sextile Neptune, the more we're like setting ourselves up for some kind of disillusionment. So we kind of want to play it slow and take it easy with a lot of things in life. Not everything. There's always going to be certain things that need attention. So I'm not saying just don't pay attention to the important stuff, but you definitely got to check your gut, check your intuition. There is a knowing with the moon in Sag too, and that's square to the sun. I think we're really starting to see like God's taking us somewhere. Maybe we don't have to know where, but do we believe that it's going to work out right if we just let that flow take us where it's going? We're going to have more action-oriented days moving forward. Today's more changing subconscious patterns and stories, especially regarding romance. And if there was ever a time where changing a story could like magically bring in an outcome that you wanted, especially with other people, it would be now. But it wouldn't be by forcing it. It would just be by the universe dropping it in your lap. That's so funny. We got the star card. I was shuffling this deck before, and I like split the deck before I started, and it was on the bottom, and I was like, oh man, feels like such a star card energy right now, like fresh new beginnings. And sure enough, shuffled a couple times here and pulled the star card. I think that we do have there's something about a new story. There's this new path, this new mission, maybe this new energy that is just about trusting the guidance from above, trusting the guidance from the universe, and letting that light, really shine through us and help get us through illusions or get us through, whether it's anxious moments or overactive, mind, or wanting things to show up right now, right here, and not seeing them yet, but being open to, really flow in the direction that the divine's taking us. So it won't be forever, but I think we should trust our own inner light, our own inner star, and see where that guiding light is taking us. And wow, 2 major arcana, the Temperance card. More of that divine, natural, divine timing, divine beauty. There's a lot of, these cards both have like, right, the very divine essence and water in it. Like the intuition is everything. And I think what we pour our emotion into is very important. So what are we over identifying with emotionally? And are we not being patient for the things that we really do want to see just because we're in such a rush? So I think there's something about slowing down and seeing the beauty in the moment and then flowing with that and being open to where that can take you. And 3 of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, I think we should focus on, the things we're trying to build maybe on our own right now and not get too caught up in what everybody else is doing or too caught up in like who's on the mission with us. Like it's kind of like, let's get through these. We're going through some subconscious stuff as a collective within every individual right now. So let's try and pinpoint those things without losing our mind, thinking that we can achieve something, and the right people that are going to start building the mission with you are going to show up. So it's just, there's not a lot of forcing right now. And even like this card almost is like, we need to almost put the tools down and take a break. Because if we overdo it, we're not putting ourselves in a very, who knows are we putting ourselves into the right dream? It's very hard to see right now exactly where things are going. So I guess don't put all your eggs in one basket, especially with people. Although I think we can all really desire that. Mars and Venus being together for so long, like there's something about really wanting that passionate sort of spark with another person. Oh, wow. I don't know. I just pulled another one because I can't help myself. But Eight of Wands in reverse. Yeah, it's just not time to move super fast right now. And I think we got to make sure that our arrows are really going in a proper direction and not just going full speed towards anything. So it's definitely like, we kind of got to check ourselves today and check our own story and then get that right and see where things go. See where things go with the moon square Neptune tomorrow. But we'll get it all figured out, and Jupiter. All right. I love you all very much. I hope you have a beautiful Wednesday, and I will catch you next time. Peace.